Let us continue, Be'ez Hashem, the Mishnah that we're holding, Mishnah Aleph. We're still holding Mishnah Aleph, and we're going to be in Mishnah Aleph for a while. Okay? So let's talk about now. Yesterday we said that if a person is Isaac B'Torah Lishma, he's Zochel Dvorim Harba. Tremendous amount of things. We spoke about the Gadlus of Torah, the Milas of Torah. Let's go through what the Mishnah says a person will be Zochel when he learns Torah Lishma. So again, we're going to go through a few each day.
Meaning, what is the Harba?
Yes, what is included? Nikrereya. So number one, he's considered to be a friend. That's what it is. Now, it's an interesting idea. What does that mean, he's considered to be a friend? Right? A friend is something that you would take on if you were doing a project or an idea. Come, let's do this together or something like this. Now, at the end of the day, Chazal tell us when a person learns Torah, he becomes a shutav b'maaseh bereishis. So when a person becomes a friend, it means he's becoming a friend, like Shir Hashem say, he can become a friend of the Rabbeinu Shalom. That's what's going on over here when a person learns Torah Lishma, which is a very high madrega. He becomes a ohov. Ohov means he's beloved. He's beloved by the Rabbeinu Shalom. Again, we're talking about the Melech Malch HaMelachim. How can you cause the Melech Malch HaMelachim to be, you'll be beloved by him? The answer is when you learn Torah Lishma. Another one. The Mishnah says, Oyev esamochem, you love Hashem. Now that's a very important idea. What does that mean, I'm going to love Hashem? It's one of the mitzvahs, it's something that we have to, we're all commanded to love Hashem. Now what is love? Love, as we know, is not a chosen and a kala that just get engaged, and the chosen says, Rebbe, I love my kala. That's garbage, you're a liar. You don't love your kala. That's the mitzias. And I tell them straight out, don't tell me you love her. You don't love her. Love is not a situation of when you see someone, you love someone. Love comes from a relationship. And a relationship means when you're putting in the effort, then, like Desta says, the lotion of ahava, love, is have, to give. When you give, that's when you love. So no, you didn't give anything to your kala apart from some presents maybe. You don't love her until you have to wake up in the middle of the night for the baby and to make sure that she can have a night's sleep, and you give up your sleep. That's an example of someone that you love. Not because you spent good time together and you both like chocolate ice cream. That's not a reason that you love each other. It's just the mitzias. It's just not the mitzias. You can't love each other at that stage. Okay? So how do we really love Hashem? So the Gemara in Ksubas Daf Kuf Yud Aleph tells us, the Gemara says the way we can love Hashem and cling to Hashem and how to develop a relationship with Hashem is to learn the Torah. Which is why it makes sense that the Mishnah is saying you can only get this midah when you learn it lishma. When a person learns Torah for another motive, he's got some ulterior motive that he's learning, right? The Gemara tells us if you want to learn Torah in order to become a Rav, in order to get covered. Those are reasons, okay, shalom lishma, ba lishma, avad gemam psochim, you should try to do that at least, hopefully one day you get lishma. But the highest madrega is to learn lishma. And we said in the beginning that Lishma means I'm doing it according to many Mefarshim only because this is the Rabbeinu Shalom's Torah. I want to get to know Hashem. I want to have a relationship with the Rabbeinu Shalom. And to have a relationship with the Rabbeinu Shalom means I have to learn his Torah Lishma for the sake of nothing else but learning Torah. And therefore, once you have that relationship, now we're talking about love. Because I've done the Hav, I get the Avo. I've done the giving to the Mesiras Nefesh of, it's not easy. These are not easy things. We're talking about learning Torah Lishma. It's not an easy thing. However, a person can do that. The Gemara in Ksubas tells us, Kuf Yud Aleph, very clearly, that a person can cling to Hashem, have a relationship with Hashem, and then come to that madrega of loving Hashem through learning His Torah, through seeing. There's other ways as well. Chavis Avos talks about, we spoke about it recently, about seeing Hashem as well. That's a beautiful thing also. But when you learn the Rabbeinu Shalom's Torah, that's when you get a relationship with Him that can really, really last. In fact, the Medrash Shmuel over here brings the Abarbanel. The Abarbanel says that what is a true friend? What is a true friend? A really good friend wants to make his friend happy. That's what it is. You want to make sure your friend's happy. It's great. If you're a good friend, I want to make sure he's happy. How do you do that? Says that Abarbanel, when you learn the Torah and you keep the Torah, then Memela you make the Rabbeinu Shalom happy. Now there's another thing that the Mishnah tells us as well, is that a person gets Oyev esabrius. Now this is interesting. Oyev esabrius means you love people. Now what's the connection between what the Mishnah is telling us, that if I learn Torah Lishma, I love people? Good, I can get a connection with Hashem and make Hashem happy, all of those things that I get. But what's it got to do with loving people just because I learn Torah Lishma? So at the end of the day, the reason is because when a person learns Torah for its own sake, we're talking about learning it for the Shema, he gets rid of all of the selfish desires, all of the selfish things, and he has only one goal, and that is to learn the Rabbeinu Shalom's Torah and to do his Ratzon, to get some Chachma, and to also cling to HaKadosh Baruch Hu's ways. So the Ben Ish Chai gives an example. The Ben Ish Chai says that, for example, you have competitions in business. Now, people are upset with each other. Sometimes people get into real serious fights with their competition. Why? Because he's taking away my parnasa. He's taking away whatever I'm doing that I think I'm successful in. Says the Ben Ish Chai, when a person learns Torah Lishma, he recognizes that because somebody else is successful, that doesn't diminish anything I'm doing. Because I am learning Torah Lishma, it's irrelevant what his learning is, because his learning is not going to affect my learning. Mimela, says the Ben Ish Chai, Oya Vesabrias is a result of learning Torah Lishma. Because when you be'emes learn Torah Lishma, you don't care about anyone else in the sense that they're hurting me, they're taking something away from me. And then you love everyone. So if you really want to get to the Madrega, this is so apropos, this is so Gavaldik, right? Between Pesach and Shavuos, we try to work on Ben Odel Mechaveira because Shlonogu Kovet Zelazeh, the whole Sug of Rabbi Kiva, right? Oyev Sabrias is such a beautiful thing to love everyone. How do you get to that Madrega? Rabbi Meir tells us in this Mishnah, the Mahalach is to learn Torah Lishma. Why does it make sense? What's the connection? When you learn Torah Lishma, you're not worried about competition. You're not worried about what someone else is doing. You're okay with everything in that case, which is a very important thing as well. We'll just do one last thing of this part of the Mishnah, and that is not Oyev Sabrias, not only that, Mesameach es hamokim. You also make the Rabbeinu Shalom very, very happy. The Gemara tells us in Brachos Yitzayin Amud Aleph that when a person learns Torah, he's Mesameach the Rabbeinu Shalom, which is an incredible thing. The Rabbeinu Shalom gave us the Torah. He wants to teach us the Torah. He wants us to get connected to that Torah. And therefore, when we learn the Torah, the Rabbeinu Shalom is being happy. So next time you sit at the Gemara, next time you sit at your Mishnayos or Shulchan Aruch, whatever it is that you're learning, just remember, you are at that moment of making the Melech Malchei Amlochim Kaviyachol smile. You're making him happy. That's an amazing thing. It's an amazing madrega. The Zohar Kodesh brings down that a person also automatically makes his parents happy in this world and the next world as well, which is also a very high madrega as well. So we're talking about things in Torah, as I mentioned. These Mishnayos and the sixth parak are very different to the previous parakim, for those of you that have seen the differences. But it's talking about the miles of Torah, which is again before Kabbalah, before Shavuos. The more miles of Torah we have, the more we'll get into the Torah, the more excitement we'll have to Torah. In Mitzvah Hashem, we shall continue Be'ez Hashem tomorrow.